Welcome to week 13 of our Pokemon Battle League. I am Ian of the Lake of Rage Ungodly Qwilfishes, and this week I will be battling Nick of the Mount Silver Scythers. Got a pretty good battle here for you. I'm just going to get straight into it. We know how this goes. So I actually have a team that's very different from the one that Nick faced originally in week 2. About 2/3 of the team I brought this week he has never faced before, so it's pretty interesting for him, I assume. But I do lead off with the Mesprit, one of the new pickups a while back, as he leads with his Tyranitar. I built my Mesprit specifically assuming that he would bring Tyranitar in to try to Pursuit Trap it, so I didn't expect us to both lead off with these counters, but it's fine for me, so I'm just going to set up the Reflect here as he goes for a Stealth Rock, which I half expected a crunch, but I actually built this Mesprit to be negative speed in the IVs and nature so that I would definitely not go first, and you'll see why in a second as I set up my light screen. I'm going to get buffered a few times. I don't have leftovers, I just have to light clay, but he's actually going to withdraw, so what you're not going to see is that my negative speed meant that I would U-turn after his pursuit, meaning it wouldn't have the double damage as it would proc with me regular switching or U-turning out before him. In the end of the day, it didn't matter. I expected to either take 2 pursuits, one behind a screen, one not, or 2 pursuits, one doubled in damage for switching and one not, but it doesn't actually matter in the end. So I'm just going to go out to Dalvin. He's going to go out to his, which one is this, Togekiss? He's going to set up a Wish as I'm going to set up my Stealth Rocks, and I'm just going to knock off his Eviolite here. It's really good for me. This thing was really bulky. And he's going to go for a Defog, which is going to actually get rid of both of my screens and the Stealth Rocks on my side of the field, along with the Stealth Rocks on his side of the field. So net gain is hard in Nick's favor here. Oops, just bumped the table. Hope that's on the recording. He's going to get his Wish back and is going to switch out on the next turn. I'm just going to go for, I think, a knockoff here again, assuming that he would switch out, just trying to defog. No, I just go for the Stealth Rock again, right. Knowing that I could stay here all day as he racks up Sandstorm damage and defogs away my Stealth Rocks. And he goes into the Swampert here and Toxics me. Really disappointed. I actually had Sand Veil on Donphan this week. I didn't really need the Sturdy, so I'm kind of disappointed that he didn't miss that Toxic. But I get a crit on my knockoff here, which probably doesn't matter, as he goes for an Ice Punch, dealing an okay amount of damage and revealing that I do have the Rocky Helmet. So I'm just going to go for another Earthquake here. It's going to bring it down to a pretty low state, probably 22%, as the poison damage is actually racking up pretty hard. So I am just going to switch out, actually, as he switches out himself into the Dr. Feels Good again, the Togekiss, probably expecting me to go for another Earthquake. But I do switch out, as I said, and I'm going to go straight back into Tikal, just trying to set up my screens again. Knowing that the Swampert's probably not going to be able to hurt me very much with my max defenses. But I don't really want to stay here, knowing that I can just defog away my screen, so I am going to U-turn out actually faster than the Togekiss, even though I have the least speed possible EVs, or IVs and nature-wise. And luckily I'm going to go into Zeraora on his Thunder Wave, as he absorbs that quite nicely. And this is actually the perfect setup for me to start going for some bulk ups. I haven't ran Bulk Up Zeraora yet. It's a pretty good set. I've just never really found the team where I felt comfortable setting it up on any of the mons specifically. But he goes for a Wish, probably assuming I would go for a different attack. He might have calced it to survive a Plasma Fist or something. But he is going to get his Wish as I go for a second Bulk Up, and he's going to hit me with a Dazzling Gleam, which isn't going to do that much. And with the leftovers, I'm actually going to be up at about 3/4. So I'm at +2 right now, attack and defense. It's just a better version of Curse. And I'm going to go for a Plasma Fist, which at +2 is going to obliterate this Togekiss, especially without the Eviolite. And I'm in a really good spot now, actually. There isn't much on his team that can actually take a +2, either Plasma Fists or Drain Punch or Close Combat if I had it. I think I also have Knockoff, maybe? But I don't think it came up in this battle. He's going to go into the Tyranitar here, and actually makes a really smart play, just setting up the sand and then switching out into his Swampert to either take a Plasma Fist or just as death fodder on my Drain Punch, as it turns out. So that's really smart. It's going to chip down my, or at least negate my leftovers just with the Sandstorm. And he gets a free switch again after the Swampert is gone. Plus I'm not going to heal very much with my Drain Punch there. So I'm going to heal up a little bit. Leftovers are going to be canceled out by the Sandstorm, but I'm still at about 90% or so. As he's going to switch out his buddy. I originally assumed he might have been Choice Scarfed or something. And I think it turns out that he is, as he goes for the Psychic. I kind of just stayed in, assuming that maybe he was trying to bluff, and also assuming that if he did have an attack, I should hopefully be able to take it. I know he runs physical Azelfs a lot, which I did in the last season also. It's really good. But it ends up being special, and it hurts quite a bit, but not enough to take me out. So I do take it out with the Plasma Fist, and then I'm just going to be hit by Sandstorm again as he switches into his Pop-Tart here. I know it's possible for Pop-Tart to outspeed me with a Sash, so I am a little bit scared of that. Or not a Sash, with his Sand Rush ability, so I'm a little scared of that. He does end up just going for the Poison Jab, which would probably take out Zeraora at that amount of HP. So that was a pretty good play by him, as I went into Mesprit to try to eat a Earthquake here. But knowing I can't really hurt it at all, he's just going to go for a Sword Stance. Another good play on his side. As I'm going to set up a Reflect, assuming that he might, or if not, just to get the lower damage from whatever he does go for. But this did scare me quite a bit. I think he might have over-predicted here a little bit as he goes for a second Sword Stance to just try to actually get the boost after the screen. But luckily I'm able to go for a Healing Wish here, which is going to bring my Donphan back up to 100% HP and cure its Toxic. So that's really nice. Donphan can wall this thing pretty well. With a Reflect up, it's going to wall it even more. But I am kind of bluffing here a little bit the Sturdy ability, as no matter what kind of boost you would have, I'd be able to survive and KO with an Earthquake. But I don't have it, and luckily he does switch out. He might not have even cared about the Sturdy, he might have just known he couldn't even KO at +4 with the Reflect. But he's going to switch in his Tapu Fini Echo here to eat an Earthquake, which doesn't do that much damage. It's about at half before the Sandstorm damage. But that's not really an issue for me. It's good damage, and I don't expect to get another KO with Donphan here. So I'm just going to switch out into Crawdad Man, the pickup from Zach, the Tentacruel, which I brought a couple of times now. I'm really glad I got a chance to actually use this thing a few times before the season was over, as I really like Tentacruel. I just never found a chance to actually bring it in the first few weeks I had it. But I come in on a Nature's Madness, which kind of sucks with the Sandstorm. It's going to leave me at about 50% HP. And this is my check to Tapu Fini. I can't come in repeatedly into Nature's Madnesses, but just for Moonblast and Surf or Scald, it's really fine. And he's going to switch out into Tyranitar to eat the Sludge Wave I have. So it does nothing. I switch out and go back into Zeraora, the Coltrane baby. As he does go for an Earthquake, I was kind of just hoping maybe he'd set up a Dragon Dance or go for a Stone Edge and miss. But largely this switch was just to use Zeraora as death fodder. He had a really good game, he got 3 KOs, that's all I could ask for. It's more than he's done in most of my battles so far. So I'm going to use his death to switch out into Leviathan here on the switch, or the free switch. And not wanting to take a Leaf Storm, he is going to switch into the Tapu Fini again, who's going to take a Leaf Storm there. I don't know if Tyranitar would have been able to take the Leaf Storm. There wasn't any sand, and he was probably banking on the fact that he could switch out and then set up the sand for the boosted special defense. At the end of the day, it probably would have been exactly the same, because the sand would double his special defense, and coming in after the Fini would mean I would have +2 anyway. But he is going to switch into his Excadrill here, who's going to take another Leaf Storm easily. That's at +2, and take it out. I know I had Salazzle in the back, and Nick was messaging me during the battle that he was worried it might have been Scarfed, so I don't know if he had a different plan if he knew it wasn't Scarfed, but that is going to be about it. The +4 Leaf Storm is going to take out the Tyranitar in the end. So that's going to be our battle. Nick had a really good battle, but as you'll see on the screen, hopefully, he has asked me to call him a degenerate battler and just generally a piece of shit here. So this is me calling Nick a piece of shit. He's totally garbage. Worst battler I've ever seen. And what an idiot. He couldn't even get his Donphan to have the correct name. He forgot to name it. Yeah, what an idiot. That fool doesn't deserve the playoffs he's going to. That guy sucks. Vote me 2020. Superior's going to hit all the rest of his Leaf Storms. I'm never going to miss a Toxic again. And I'm going to playoffs on my new streak, baby!